Most of you knew Jay as mother, sister, cousin, or friend, but us three simply knew her as not a darling. When I was asked to speak about my grandmother, another told me to think about my most fond memories of her. So today, that's what I'm going to be sharing with you. I'm sorry. For as long as I can remember, our knowledge has been a part of our lives. My most fond memory of my grandmother is her being a part of the Red Hiders. She would always be dressed up in extravagant purple and red clothes. Tiana, Raj, and I would always go into her closet and play dress up when Mom would be cooking something. No, I also loved to cook, as many of you know. I don't think I'd ever forget the taste of her homemade cinnamon bread. I always remember being at Nana's house, but on cleaning days, we weren't allowed inside at all. Somehow the house would always be clean after the countless get-togethers we had. And Nana was the kind of person to refuse help from anyone when it came to cleaning because she wanted it done her way. Probably because if any of us would have washed it, she probably would have rewashed it anyways. Nana also pushed school on all of us. She always told me to study hard, and for a long time, she was the only person that believed I could make it through college. And without her, I don't think I would have made it through my second semester. And I'm very thankful for that. To me and my sisters, Nana was ever a normal grandmother. She was more of a best friend to us. Because she's been a part of my life for the past 17 years and a part of my sister's lives longer, she taught us so many things. She taught us how to sew, how to cook, how to garden, how to clean, how to write cursive. She's always a huge part of our life. She knew every cut on Tiana and I because we would always fall playing at her house. She went to every single one of Raj's piano recitals and taught him how to be a good mother. My favorite fond memory of me and my grandmother is our love for playing the ukulele. If anyone knew what a gem on a joke if you know, Tiny Bubbles will always be the song that reminds me of her. She played it so many times. With that, I want to end with my last memory of my grandmother. A couple of days before my grandmother passed away, I flew back to Arizona for break. The night before I left, something was telling me to talk to her. So I sat down for a couple hours and I did. We talked about hours for so many different things, and I loved hearing about her life because it was so interesting. And she loved hearing about everything that I learned in my classes that week. I'll never ever forget the conversation I had with her. And I'll always cherish the memories, and we will always cherish the memories that we had of our Mama Darling. Thank you.
Thank you, Mekaylah, and Raj, and Hoku, and everybody for coming. So, I'm just going to talk about how my mom would want me to share with all of you how God orchestrated her move to Hawaii and how His hand was not only upon her, but so many of us the whole time. Even through the worst situations that seemed almost impossible. It truly was the hardest journey for Mom and myself ever. But I believe that my obedience to God is how this all transpired. Little did we know it, that she was on a mission. She was determined to visit loved ones, and she accomplished every reconciliation possible and made amends to family members. She completed her mission to enter the kingdom of heaven. God had appointed special appointment times for many during the last days. And Denise was able to come for 2 weeks to spend quality days with my mom for Thanksgiving. Her first plan was actually to come in January. God had a different plan. Like Mekaylah said, she had finished her first semester of college like a week early, so before leaving to the mainland for Christmas break, she was just able actually to spend a whole week there with my mom instead of a day. So God had changed that plan too. Auntie Manu and COL, he came over a lot from the Kona side to visit. And she was actually able to spend Friday night before long, went to see Jesus. And Hope popped in early Saturday morning, unexpectedly, and she sat in that chair next to Nana Darling and talked all day. And then cooked her a nice, fabulous meal, of course. But Hope and I can look back on that day and actually tell all of you that she was ready and preparing us. Little did we know that she was preparing us, but that was Saturday night before her passing, or not her passing, but went to Jesus. She took Hopu and I by the hand, and she thanked us for caring for her, even if she was humbug. And then she started to quote scripture, Psalms 23. And like she's lying in her recliner, and Hopu and I are bent over like that, and holding her hands, and she made a mistake. She had to start all over again. And we're still like that. But she did recite that scripture word for word. And that was the Saturday before. There's so much more, you guys, that happened in between. Blessings, miracles, favor, signs. Because this courageous, beautiful woman wanted to come back home to Hawaii and complete her mission. So she could enter those gates. And to confirm that, one morning, she said she had a dream that Don Amici was waiting by the gate. And Don Amici was an actor in the 30s. I don't know if anyone's seen him. He was just like Papa Tan, but a Chinese version. So my faith, my hope, and mostly my love for God is the strongest it's ever been in my entire life. Not just because my mom went home to be with Jesus, it's because I was blessed to witness such a glorious event. All I can say is I know that I don't ever have to guess where she is. Because I saw that wonderful look in her eyes as she took her last breath. And her breath after that, she was with Jesus. I don't want anybody to be sad during Christmas time, because Mom did go before Christmas to see Jesus, to make the bread, like Brandon said. She absolutely loved Christmas time. It was her favorite time of year. She had glass and brass ornaments on her tree. She had a plethora of nostalgic Santas. She had holly balls and her oyster stuffing. That we didn't really like, but anyway, she was ready. She wanted to celebrate Jesus' birthday with him. So when I get sad, I just imagine what she's doing right now. She's arranging the flowers and running for mayor. She's also getting a team of angels together right now to rally around our unsaved loved ones. And she told me once that Jesus is delaying his coming because we have to get all our loved ones saved. My mom had a great, beautiful, long life and now dwells in the house of the Lord forever. She's waiting for us to join her, and she would want me to make sure
that the offer is available to those who don't know him or have fallen away. She would say, come now, come as you are.